Hello everyone and welcome to another GSSR review video. So no one really knows what's going to happen with FGO JP. We're just going to have to wait until New Year's happens. But we do know that FGO NA, of course, is getting its big New Year's GSSR, and this one, there's a lot to choose from, so I don't even know how long this video will be, but I'll try and cover every single banner that there is for you to choose from. Now, as usual, this is a gameplay review, much like the tier lists. And I do want to say that if there's a servant you really want over gameplay value, I would always go for them first and foremost, okay? I still think favorites should be your number one prio above everything else. But having said that, now I will just proceed to do the gameplay review. I'll be scoring every banner from 1 to 10. And other stuff to note is that you need 15 paid quartz to do the summon. Pretty much the same as always. You're guaranteed one of the 5 stars in the banner, one of the limited ones. I believe you can get more than one though, but you are guaranteed at least one. There are 29 options, so again, that's why this video might be long. And you also get a free grail as a bonus for summoning on any of these banners. The only 5 stars you will not be able to get from any of these are the newly added Yamato Takeru at the time, because he will be the New Year's servant with his own banner. And then Draco, as the only beast on NA at the time, will also be excluded. So they will not be present on any of the banners. Everyone else for limited you can actually get. Since we have 29 banners, the split this time is gender split, but also MP card type split and MP effect split. So that's why there's so many different combinations here. And that's also why sub-servants, as it says right there, will appear in more than one banner. So depending on who you're going for, you might have more than one option to choose from. So let's get to reviewing. First, we have one of the female single target quick banners featuring Okita Saber, Shisho Lancer, OGX, Etchan, and also Melt Release. This banner, I think it's pretty good. I'm not sure, but I want to say NA doesn't have the Shisho third skill buff yet, which actually makes her really amazing against any divine targets. But besides that, Okita is always pretty decent. Melt is pretty good. I think she might be missing one of her buffs still too. Etchan and X are nothing too spectacular. They're kind of, you know, whatever, I want to say, as harsh as it sounds. But yeah, it's not a terrible one, but I want to say there's no real must-have or standout still. Maybe one could argue about the Shisho buff in the future, but as of right now, again, considering there's a lot of good servants in these banners, I will give this one a rating of 5 out of 10. I know it sounds a bit brutal, but yeah, it is what it is. More female single target quicks, also featuring Astolfo. He's one of the ones that will be in several banners as an option too. So yeah, he's there. We have Maid Alter, OG Kama, and Taira as well. Kama is definitely the standout on this banner. Again, NA is still missing her big buff as well, but after that happens, she's by far the best single target assassin in the game. But before that happens, this banner, I feel like still kind of lacks a huge standout, maybe even more so than the first one. But because Kama will become the best single target assassin in the game, and Taira is still not bad either, Stolf is fine. I think Maid Alter is the one really weak one here. I'm still giving this a 5 out of 10 as well, just because of Kama's future value being so high. And won't you guess it, more female single target quicks. We have Medusa Saber on this one, Izumo, Bazette, and Wangina. And I believe Wangina will also have multiple banners. Medusa Saber is really good, just solid. Izumo, probably still the best single target caster, not that there's a ton of competition. You could argue that Bazette also could be nominated for that role, being an alter ego as well, and she's actually very stellar. And Wangina, I want to say, is actually underrated. She's not bad either. So I feel like the overall power level of this one actually surprisingly high. Maybe not any game-breaking servants in this one, but actually good servants. I feel like no matter who you get, you would still gain from that. Like, they would actually help your account if you don't have them already, or if you want more MP levels for them. So for that reason, I'm actually giving this one a 7 out of 10. This is a good banner. Now, moving on to quick AoE. This one also features Dolman as a gender unknown who has multiple banners as well. So we have Summer Okita Alter Saber. We have OG Sei Shonagon, Karen, Jacques, and Dolman. A mixed bag, I want to say. Okita Alter is still one of the better AoE sabers out there. Sei Shonagon, I feel like is pretty forgettable, unfortunately. Karen is actually good, but maybe not a must-have. There's definitely alternatives. Jacques is also decent. She got a pretty good buff this year finally to justify her a bit more, but still, I want to say you can definitely replace her too. But Dolman is definitely the standout here, but it is a 1 in 5 if you're looking for him here, so maybe not the best choice. Dolman obviously being an amazing servant. Even at just 1 copy, you can do so much with him. Because of the mixed bag and only having one huge standout in my opinion, I will give this one a 4 out of 10. It's the lowest one so far. I know it sounds brutal, but yeah, I mean, there you go. More AoE quicks, we got Britomart, Huyan, Sennorikyu, and Summer Scotty. Summer Scotty is definitely the standout here. If you do not already have a copy, you definitely don't need MP levels on her unless she's one of your favorites and you actually want to DPS with her too, then go by all means do that. Sennorikyu also one of the better AoE quicks in the game if you're looking to bolster your damage on that front. Huyan is pretty decent and Britomart also fine. Actually not a bad banner, and getting Scotty is not the hardest thing ever here. So because there is actually an big meta support, I will give this one a 7 out of 10 regardless. Now we get some blue, we get some single target arts on the female side, starting with Umu Bride, Benienma, Summer Artoria Archer OG, and Yang Guifei. Kind of a tame banner for sure. They're all pretty decent at what they do, but again, I would say no staples in this banner at all, like account changers if you will. But I do prefer this to some of the quick ones we've seen so far, so for that reason I am giving it a 6 out of 10. Now we got single target arts again featuring Trunk Sisters, Melusine. Again, she has multiple banners, not because of gender but because of changing MP type. Summer Castoria and Uesugi Kenshin. Very good banner, just very good. Trunk Sisters is probably the weakest one here, but they're by no means a bad servant either. Melusine is obviously top tier. Castoria, probably still the best single target DPS to this day, which is absolutely insane. And Uesugi also, well, you know, most people do prefer Castoria. She is actually still a very solid servant as well. And this is actually the one I will be going for. Not because of gameplay, because again, I did not get an Uesugi myself, so I'm going to try and get one copy from here. But gameplay-wise, this banner is very strong. No meta supports, so I'm not going to rate it insanely high, but again, so many great DPSs here. I will give this an 8 out of 10. Very, very solid choice here. Now, this is a spicy one. We get the first special arts one, female and unknown gender. We got Rhinus, OG Castoria, OG Scotty, and First Emperor. So you actually have 3 big supports. OG Scotty is still absolutely relevant, even if, you know, for farming, you probably prefer to pick Summer. Maybe even for some speed bosses, you prefer to pick Ruler. But Castor is absolutely still very, very solid. Castoria is still, you know, probably the best servant in the game, so, you know, not much to be said there. Rhinus, absolutely amazing for bosses as well. Her farming presence is pretty minimal, but for bosses, she is amazing, especially with Castoria. She also works really well there. First Emperor, I feel like, is still a bit underwhelming these days, but he can definitely be made work as a DPS as well. But man, this, I haven't even looked at all the banners yet, but this I'm sure will be one of the best options, especially if you don't have any of the big 3 supports here. I'm close to giving this a 10. The only reason I'm hesitant to not giving it a 10 is because of First Emperor, but just because there's 3s, I don't know. I'm giving it a 10, okay? I'm just giving it a 10. This is an amazing banner. Could be argued for a 9 because of First Emperor, but I'm giving it a 10. Now, the other special arts on the female side, we got Miss Crane, Van Gogh, and Lady Avalon. Another amazing banner. Crane is the weakest one. She's not really needed. She's one of those servants that I like to call win more. You can make her work, but again, if you're already using Crane, chances are you're going to win the battle anyway. Van Gogh, obviously amazing as a damage support, and even a capable DPS herself too, just absolutely stellar. And Lady Avalon is an amazing servant as well. Much like Rhinus, pairs really well with Castoria, just super strong support. Oh boy, is this another 10? This is a 9 or a 10 as well, but frick it, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10 as well. You can't really go wrong with the servants. Again, Crane might not be needed, but she's also a good servant regardless, so 10 out of 10 on this one. Now we move to female AoEs. This one has Saber Shiki, OG Da Vinci, Shuten, OG Kiara, and OG Hokusai. Not gonna lie, this is an underwhelming banner, unfortunately. Even with taking future buffs into account, none of them are really exceptional at their roles. There are some good servants here, but no account changers, and definitely a lot, I would say all of them are replaceable in what they do. So yeah, this is gonna sound brutal, but this is the lowest one so far. I'm giving this a 3 out of 10. I don't see like big reason to get any of these servants. Again, unless you like them, then by all means go for them, but gameplay wise this is not a very strong choice at all. More female AoE, we got John Archer, Summer, Davichi Rider, OG Murasaki, and Summer Musashi. Only a bit better than the previous one in my opinion. All of them are replaceable, much like the previous one, but I feel like the power level here is a bit higher, but not a huge improvement. I'm still giving this a 4 out of 10. A marginal increase. Female AoEs continue because it's very popular. We got Bakin, Summer Kama, Spishtar, and Summer Kiara. Again, people are gonna hate me for saying this, but they are all replaceable, actually. They really are. There are no actual game changers on this banner. I know, maybe some years ago I would have said something different, but nowadays they are actually all replaceable. I think this might still be the best of the 3 so far. I am giving it a 5 out of 10, just because the servants can be made work, but again, they're all just very replaceable at what they do. And one more female AoE arts banner. We have Durga, Summer Ibuki, Pope Johanna, and Summer Melusine. Best one here by far is Summer Ibuki. And Johanna can actually have some use cases as well, mostly as a support. I feel like her DPSing isn't all that great, but as a support, she can be an interesting servant to have in your roster, even if she doesn't see a ton of use. Melusine is kind of a weaker version of her Lancer variant, unfortunately, but still a pretty good servant overall. And Durga should be doing more damage than she is, I think, but yeah, overall, she's just a good AoE archer, but nothing, again, remarkable, I would say. But Summer Ibuki still, actually, to this day, is still very strong. For that reason, that is the best of these, and I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. Now, single ticket buster on the ladies' side, we have Tamamo Lancer, OG Bryn, OG Ilya, and OG Jalter. Jalter will actually get better once she gets her big battery buff. Then she can also be used for farming way easier, and obviously it helps her DPS too. Otherwise, everyone else is fully replaceable, even with welfares in some cases here, unfortunately. And even Jalter herself, unless you have that crazy copy, it's not like she's still amazing either, but taking the future buff into account, she can actually be made work. So for that reason, and because there's not a ton of single ticket casters, even if Ilya, in my opinion, is not the best one, I am giving this a 5 out of 10. Now, we got mostly single ticket bustered out, with also a 1 special buster MP in there as well. So we have OG Musashi, Himiko with her support MP, Super Bunyan, and OG Abigail. I almost want to say Himiko is the standout one here, but also a servant that's definitely not needed on any account, even if, you know, I really enjoy her. So, unfortunately, mostly just replaceable servants that don't really have a crazy niche. Bunyan's MP buff will also make her more viable on farming, but again, I keep repeating myself, she is still replaceable in that role. So unless you're like a freak like me who has a really big copy of Super Bunyan, you probably have better options, even with the MP buff in mind. So for that reason, I'm giving it a brutal 4 out of 10. Next up is some female AoEs on the buster side, starting with Ishtar, Ereshkigal, Summer Umu, Cleopatra, and Raiko OG. I want to say the standout here is probably Ereshkigal, but otherwise, most of them just have alternate options as well. Take a shot every time I say that, really is it's crazy. But yeah, I want to say most of them have many better options even, unfortunately. So unless you're a big Rin Face fan, maybe this banner isn't for you. I'm gonna give it a sad 4 out of 10 as well. More buster AoE, we got Sebirabis, Maonobu, OG Okita Alter, King Protea, and Summer BB. Is it time for the broken clock again? Yeah, there's a lot of options. Mao is DPS-wise probably the best one here. BB Summer is nice to have for the card log utility, and you kind of can make her work as a DPS too, but she's mostly used for the card shenanigans. And KP is okay, her solo is not bad, but especially Okita Alter and Semiramis there. They're just very forgettable gameplay-wise, as much as I hate to say that as a big Okita fan. Yeah, it is what it is. It's not really a great banner either. Another 4 out of 10. There it is. This Buster AoE also has one unknown gender in Queeriness, but besides him we also have OG Ibuki Saber, Bunny Toria, and Summer Abigail. Queeriness still has really good damage potential, but I feel like that's only if you invest in him, so take that how you will. It's not like he's a support where you're like one and done with the copy. Bunny Toria, after her buffs, is okay in some scenarios, but still replaceable. Summer Ibuki is one of the better AoE Buster, or AoE Sabers in general, but no account changer by any means. And Summer Abigail, well, she has some, again, niche cases, also not needed. But this one is probably the best one so far of the Busters. Not really by a long shot, so I don't know, 5 out of 10 average banner, I guess. Alright, this is an interesting one. Obviously more Buster AoE, Melusine's second appearance here. Then there's Koyan Light, Koyan Dark, and OG Morgan as well. Yeah, this is a nice one. If anything, Koyan Dark is probably the weakest one here, but even she has use cases, maybe even with lower MP levels because of her spread 30 and Buster applications. In some nodes where there's like low HP enemies, you can still utilize her. Koyan Light obviously essential for any account that uses Buster to any extent. Morgan, while her farming numbers are low if you don't have a crazy copy, is still a good DPS, has some comps available, and again, like I said earlier, Melusine, still one of the best AoE Lancers in the game. So this one is finally another good one. So with that in mind, this is a tough one. This is either an 8 or a 9, but we'll go with the 9 out of 10 because I believe this is your only chance to get Koyan Light. So this is a 9 out of 10 right here. And what more AoE Buster Batter? We got Tonelico, Tiamat, Arcuade, and Kukulkan. A lot of modern servants here, at least when it comes to the Ede side, of course. And many good ones too, of course. Kukulkan just a really solid DPS. Arcuade, mostly a farmer, but again, you need that crazy copy for that. I want to say the same for Tiamat. Tonelico works a bit easier, but also ideally you want a better copy. But they're all just very solid AoE Buster servants. Mostly farming, but some DPS potential too. So with that in mind, this one, I want to say a 7 or an 8, even if there's no meta supports, but because I think they're all pretty damn nice, I'm actually gonna give it an 8 out of 10. They're all good, very nice servants. Back to some quick single target. This is a weird one because again, it's all servants we've already seen in previous banners, but now they're all grouped up together in unknown genders. So there's Stolf Saber, Tyra, and Wangina. There were, I think, better quick single target banners previously. This one, I think the best one is potentially Wangina. But yeah, this one, I feel like you would not... almost no one is probably going to go for this one. Because again, all of these servants are in other banners too that you saw earlier. So this one is a 3 out of 10. Just a weird banner. I feel like this one didn't need to exist, but yeah, it does. So I guess better chance to get one of these 3 if you really want them. That's the only reason it would roll here. Alright, time for dudes. We got AoE quick. Charlie, Takasugi, Dantes, OG, Doman, and Voyager. Charlie kind of interchangeable with Sabaroki's Altar. Pretty good. Takasugi, decent, but definitely not needed. Dantes has kind of fallen off, but still can work. Voyager, pretty good actually, but not needed. And Doman, once again, the standout of the banner. But again, it's like a 1 in 5, so that's a bit of an oofy. So with that in mind, I almost want to say 4 out of 10. Even if it sounds harsh, so yep, unfortunate. Then we got special arts on the dude's side. We got Super Orion, Merlin, First Emperor, and Sherlock. Super Orion still super solid. I will stand by that. Merlin obviously amazing. NA still, I believe, missing the buff to his second skill, but of course he's still really good even before that. First Emperor, like I said, he can work, but I feel like you have easier options. And Sherlock is interesting. You don't need him, but sometimes it's nice to have him for that AoE ignore defense and some other supporting tools he has. So he's not a bad one to have on your account. So actually a pretty good level of servants, while some are a bit more niche than others. So with that in mind, I want to say this is 8 out of 10 a too high? I'm going 8 out of 10. Also assuming Merlin's future buff taking into account. So there you go. pretty good banner. AoE arts on the dudes, we got Muramasa, Sakamoto Ladser, and Young Moriarty. I think, honestly, Moriarty is probably the best one, again, counting it for future stuffs, but none of them are amazing. Moriarty is pretty good, but yeah, you probably still have better AoE arts options, I don't know, but it's alright. I'm between 6 and 10, or 6 and not 10, 6 and 7. Oh, I said the thing, oh no, the comments are gonna get me. Let's go with 7 out of 10. I might regret that later. We'll see. And final AoE arts, we got Ptolemaios, Tez, and Rasputin. Tez is definitely the standout here, but Ptolemaios is also a very solid archer. Rasputin is probably the weakest of the three, but if you're an enjoyer of the Smiling Priest bot, hey, this is your best chance, and I guess you're the only one of these that has him as well. Just because of Tez alone, this is a 6 minimum. Can I call it a 7? You know what? No, let's keep it a 6, because Ptolemaios, while he's good, he's replaceable, and Rasputin is kind of mid to decent, I would say, unfortunately. So Tez is the real standout here. Single ticket Buster dudes, we got Old Moriarty, King Hassan, Kintoki, and Hijikata. Kintoki is still relevant in the farming because even if his kit is really awkward, just because his numbers are good and, you know, he's easy to work with. King Hassan, after Kama's buff, he is no longer in contention for the best single target assassin. Maybe that'll change in the future if he gets an MP buff or something, but we'll see. Hijikata actually can be used in farming now as well, but Kintoki is just easier for that. But he's an okay DPS at Moriarty, just replaceable. Nothing really, no standout stuff going out for him. Just because none of them are like the best at what they do, there's no meta supports here, no account changers. This is a 6 out of 10, just because the overall level is still decent, but kind of just above average a little bit. More Buster single target is Sigurd, Ptolemaios again, because you can remember split MP and all that, and Constantine. Sigurd, in an unfortunate spot, he still needs more love, even if I like him. Ptolemaios still great, and Constantine actually stonks nowadays. Again, this is still before NA gets his MP buff, but once that happens, if you are a Buster enjoyer, you will be very happy to have Constantine in your roster. So I would honestly consider this if you don't have him and you do use Buster stuff a lot, because it's a 1 in 3, which is the best chance you'll get on any on these banners to get someone. With that in mind, this is a 7 out of 10, mostly because Ptolemaios is a good servant, and Constantine actually becomes very solid after his MP buff. Buster AoE for dudes, there's Arthur, Gilgamesh, Ivan, Iskandar, and Amakusa. I want to say Gilgamesh and Ivan are the standouts. Arthur is just that 1 MP buff away from potentially becoming the best AoE saber in the game, but as of right now, he's definitely not there yet, but that could happen someday, but you'll probably have more options in the future anyway. Amakusa not really needed, Iskandar replaceable as well. But yeah, there's at least 2 good AoEs here in Gilgamesh and Ivan, but it's the 2 out of 5, so it's not a great chance. So with that, this is a 5 out of 10, unfortunately, because of that. And the final banner, the final male Buster AoE, there's Queerness again. Then we have the new Takeda, Arjuna Alter, and Oberon. Just because of Oberon, this banner is like a 7 minimum, but because there's also Arjuna Alter, who's still very relevant, Takeda is not bad, even if not memorable, and Queerness, you know, if you're going for that big copy, he can actually bring out good numbers. I want to say it's an 8 minimum now. Can I call it a 9? I'm gonna say 8 out of 10. I'm gonna hold back on this one. This is an 8 out of 10, but again, Oberon is still an amazing servant if you don't have a copy, so also always worth considering in that case. So there you go. I have no idea how long this video will be. I tried to not yap much and mostly just get to the rating, but yeah, it's 29 batters, so it probably still has, you know, quite a bit of length to it. But hey, that's it. And as always, do let me know in the comments who you're going for. Preferably, you know, let me know if there's someone you really like. But, you know, if you're going for gameplay, ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what this video is for as well, of course. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, do me a solid and press the thumbs up button on it. It really helps out. And subscribe not to miss out on future videos, because I will also cover whatever happens on JP New Year's this week very soon in a couple of days. So as of right now, no one really knows where the game is going to head to, but I'm optimistic. That's the bottom line, and we'll see what happens. Shout out to my patrons on the screen right now, and Suit for being a big YouTube tier member supporter, and Happy New Year's in advance, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.